Welcome to That's What We Think with Connie and Steve, and part two of how things have changed between
Our
when we were growing up
Yep,
and now.
and when we say our growing up days, we're talking about Gen Xers. This is 1965 to 1980 people who I mean, it could be obviously, it could be millennials too as well, or even boomers,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but we aren't them. We
No,
are Gen
we can't talk
Xers.
about, I mean, well, we can talk about the
We
things
can.
that happened during the 90s, but
You
because we were there, obviously.
you're gonna laugh because I was singing, earlier today, David Bowie's Changes, Changes, and because that song is just it just kinda lends itself to what we're dealing with now. I remember this is in oh god, help me, this is crazy, 1983. It was a snow day in school,
Oh,
and
gotta
no
love snow days back in the
oh,
day.
and last night, I happened to watch a little excerpt of Thriller: The Making of, and I was all in, like, it was just amazing just watching how Michael Jackson was doing his dance when he was a werewolf, that dance with all the people in the back in the graveyard, and it immediately transported me back to when we got to watch the making of that video in school because it was a snow day. So I could still see the teacher wheeling in the TV VCR thing that back in the day was always meant.
Mhm. Oh, as soon as you saw the giant
Yep.
TV being wheeled in,
Oh,
you
yeah.
knew it was gonna be a good day.
Oh, it was a great day, and that brought back such memories, and I was just thinking, like, even now, like, how about how things have changed? I mean, I don't know, obviously, again, I always mention I don't have children, so I don't know what's exciting when kids see at school, like, do they is it the same experience? Like, do they get excited? Like, what is it?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Because remember what for us too was also films. When they brought in the film
Yes.
projector,
Oh, the
oh,
projector, the
the
reel to
yeah.
reel.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really exciting.
Now, I know that, Emily has asked for the Netflix code
Okay.
to airdrop a movie onto a screen at
Wow.
yeah, like, it's completely different.
It's crazy though, I mean, even for the
You don't have
kids.
to have the actual physical movie, right? So,
Right.
just like we don't have to have a physical movie here, we could
But
just watch whatever.
but it was pretty cool, eh? And when you
Yeah.
think about it, our teachers had to know how to do that, how to change the reel, how
Oh,
to
to
feed
you
it.
had to
It
fish
yeah,
the film through the machine and
yeah.
attach it to the next one. I remember doing that because the kids helped with it, right?
That's right.
See
And it meant you get a break from school studies because you get to sit and watch a film. Might not have been the greatest, topic, but it was still awesome. I can still hear it, Akon. I can still hear the
Mhm.
sound of the film. Anyways, we're just continuing on what we were talking about from part 1, which is, again, as Connie mentioned earlier, how things have changed. We ended last time about finance, and I brought that up because what's incredible about how much things have changed from when we were younger to now is our ability to get money. When we were kids, credit cards were not ubiquitous. If you were a woman, you couldn't get a credit card. And even if you did, it really wasn't it was a very, very special thing to get. It was not,
As a woman?
no, in general, just to get a credit
Oh,
card.
in general. Oh, I
But,
was gonna
but
say, as a woman, you weren't getting one
no, as a
unless
woman, you weren't
your
getting one. I did say that.
spouse signed for you
Right? And my mom was
to
even mentioning
allow
that.
you.
Exactly. Like you could even talk about that aspect of it in terms of women having access to finances in a way that they are now. My mom was a school teacher, and back in the 70s, they were not allowed to wear pants until the mid 70s.
Could you imagine? Especially if you were a kindergarten teacher. Kindergarten teachers nowadays wear leggings and yoga pants because you're getting down on the floor with the kids. You have to be comfortable. You have to be able to move
Yep.
properly and easily.
Yep.
Y- skirt and heels and pantyhose? No, there's no.
It
How
was
are
in
you
an
doing that?
again, an entirely different thing, but when it came to finances, it really was a situation where you couldn't get access to loans and money. It was harder compared to now.
It was almost impossible. As a single woman trying to get a mortgage, a
Oh,
credit card, a loan, that was not happening for you.
even into the
Unless you
80s.
had a man sign, and then it's not in your name as a woman, it's in that man's name.
And that
So
it's
all of these people that want to go back to the way it used to be, that's the way
that
it used to be.
that's what they want. And that even extends outside of the banking system. This is also if you wanted to purchase a car, you would have
Yeah,
to get a man to be in there with you to go and help you get that car. They were not about to finance that stuff without you having some man or with you. There's no way,
no,
unless there was extra collateral that you had to produce in order to get it. Like
yeah.
it absolutely was an entirely different thing. And God help you if you were a minority, let alone,
Oh, yeah. No,
it
no, no.
was it really was a very different time period. Now, that's where I'm glad things have changed, obviously,
Mhm.
because
Of course.
this is where capitalism comes in because they realize, oh wait, there's an entire market here that we're denying.
That is
We can make more
exactly.
money. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all it
yeah,
was. So for anybody that's suggesting that we should go backwards, well, that's not going to happen because they already know they can make money off of everybody. So get that shit out of your head. It's not
yeah.
going back. You know,
No, it's not going back. It's, they can charge more because now there's dual incomes. And yes, I understand one income could afford a
oh yeah.
home,
Yes.
the mortgage, the food, the bills,
Yeah.
all of that. And now it's changed.
Back then, and I'm sure people would kids today or even adults would be shocked that if you had a job at a department store, that would
Yeah.
allow you to own a house, go on vacation, and get a car. And if you worked in a grocery store, you made a good living. And obviously that has completely changed clearly, because again, capitalism has made it much, much harder for people to be able to do that. People talk about the show Married with Children.
Here, yeah.
Like, they're like, how did he manage to get a house? Well, because he made, I'm sure, even though it was not the greatest job in the world for him, but you
No.
could make a good living at that job to survive and get a mortgage and get a house.
Yeah. Oh,
Can't
well,
do
and
that
I think
now.
I think the Bundys were they supposed to be working poor or middle class or lower middle
Lower middle
class?
class, I think, working
Yeah,
class, yeah, but they
yeah.
still had a house.
They
They
still had a
still
house,
were
yeah.
able to have food, a dog, a car, and even then, and even I'll even extend that more to cars. Connie had mentioned in our last episode how everyone has a car or trucks. That absolutely did not exist. If you had 2
No.
cars, you were rich. If you had
Yeah.
3 cars, you're like, "Whoa." It's an interesting scenario now because I think now we've overextended ourselves where back in the day, they kept it in place where you couldn't. There were so
Yeah.
many barriers to stop you from getting yourself into trouble, and I'm talking debt. And now there's the debt situation for so many people is so bad.
Well, that's because industry makes money off of our debt,
That's right.
right? And
Right.
we're allowing that to happen. Our grandparents back in the day
Yep.
would never, especially as immigrant grandparents,
Yeah.
that would be like the most foreign thing ever
Yeah.
is having debt. My grandfather, when they moved here, they bought a house in Willowdale. Obviously, like many immigrants, multiple families lived in this small little wartime bungalow. My grandfather worked day and night, literally, in the evenings, laying cement floors in basements to pay for that mortgage so that they no longer had a mortgage. And within a few short years, he paid off that house.
Mhm.
You could not do that now, not with
No.
houses at the prices that they are. But then it was shameful to have a mortgage that you owed the bank. Even a car, you would buy a car outright.
Yeah.
There was no leasing, there was no financing. You just saved
Absolutely
your money
not.
until you bought a car.
Yeah, and of course, that changed in the '80s when you could finance and do all that stuff because they
Yeah,
realized they could make more money off of you if they
exactly.
were able to do that.
Because that car that is, say, $20,000, not that there's any car out there that's $20,000, is ends up by the end of it is 60,
Right.
because of how much you're paying in interest.
Yeah. It's 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 a system that, I mean, for better for worse, we I remember opening up my first bank account at RBC. I had it when their mom and dad had set that up for me as kids. And then as a teenager, I opened up my own account at the municipal bank in Barrie, and it was great. Like, you just felt a sense of responsibility, but it was controlled because they didn't have ATMs or anything like that. So if
Yeah.
you needed to
It
take money out, you had to go to the bank during their bank hours, which
I
is
was just gonna say during banking
that's right.
hours.
So if you missed it after 5 o'clock, you were shit out of luck for
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
yeah.
it taught you, of course, responsibility to save, and I did, and I loved that part of it, but it also made it impossible for you to be able to get stuff without having to, you know
Yeah.
and when
Yeah.
it was a cash society, we did so much in cash, and very rarely credit cards, because credit cards used to be where you'd have to use that machine, remember? That you could hear it.
Yes. So much of when we grew up were about sounds.
It really is. So anybody, if you hear you'll know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It's incredible how much, from a financial aspect has changed. Going to school costs more now than it did, as you can see now with Evelyn and all your
Yeah.
kids. It's
It's a huge difference. Abby was looking at different universities, and Emily went to Queen's just between when Emily went to Queen's. And now the cost has exploded thanks to our lovely Doug Ford.
oh, he
Um,
is not lovely. She's being very, very sarcastic,
oh,
just so you know.
completely
Think
not a lovely.
the worst thing that's happened.
It's so ridiculous. $18,000 just for residents at Queen's. And residents at Queen's are terrible. It's not like they're new or anything.
Right?
They're old.
That makes me so sad, and this is where I can see why there would be anger with the younger generations at
Yeah.
us, because in some respects, yes, the ladder has been pulled up from them, and I'm
Yeah.
going to include Gen X in there
Mhm.
because we are older, and we are also pulling up the ladder behind us because they're not paying the same way that our
No.
older generations would pay for us. And I always even and this lends itself right into the conversation of how education has changed for all of us, and watching what's happening now compared to when we were in school. And I'm going to say this for the Catholic system because that's the system that I went into, and Connie as well. Uh, when I look back at what we got to do compared to the stories that I'm hearing from fellow teachers that I know or principals or friends that work in the system, it is night and day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And for some reason, yes, for some things, there's been positive changes. There's more inclusivity, more of an ability to extend itself to understanding other cultures, understanding people who have mental health issues or disabilities. But they've also missed out on some of the great things that we got to do. We got to
Oh,
go on
yeah.
trips. Remember, Con? The amount of trips that we got to go
Oh, the
on?
amount we went at least once a year,
That's right. At
at
least
least, and I'm saying that is, like, bare minimum because 'cause I'm pretty
bear.
sure it was 3 times a year or
Agreed.
4 times a year that we went somewhere, whether it was
Always.
the science center,
The Toronto
the
Zoo,
zoo,
the museum,
the
which
planetarium.
they're knocking down.
I know. That was the planetarium was my favorite
Yeah,
field trip ever. I absolutely loved it. Why they're tearing it down, I don't understand. Why it's been closed for a real long time.
it has.
Why not reopen it and use it? That is, I mean, first off, for educationally, such a huge, huge thing. Even just for fun, it was lovely. Oh my God, looking
I
up at the nighttime sky and getting to travel through space was for your imagination as a kid?
That
Oh,
is such a loss. My heart every time I hear it, and even with the science
which they're
center
wanting to tear down as well.
was magical as a
Yeah,
kid. I can still see it going down that escalator and just heading towards the stuff that you could see and touch. It
yeah.
was we got to go. We got to
Uh-huh.
experience it. And of course, as we try not to do, but we can't help it, I blame everything on Doug Ford because he
Yeah,
was an idiot. And so I just anyways,
yeah. Well, and the
just
fact that so with the
greedy.
science center,
Yeah.
they closed it because they said it's not safe, it's going to fall down.
Which
The
which is
amount of snow that
bullshit.
we've had this year, and guess what? It's still there,
Yeah.
not leaking,
Yep.
not falling down.
Yep. Apparently, even
So,
the same materials that they use for the science center roof is on the same as on our schools, but that's not a problem. Anyway, I can't, because it just makes me so angry because the science center the planetarium is one thing, but that's been closed for a while, which is unfortunate.
yeah,
But the science center was recent, and the amount that they've denied children not only to experience science on an entirely fun level, but the fact that it was used for communities as well is just beyond the pale for greed. And that is it. That is all this
yeah,
is about. But it just reminds me of how
for
lucky we
condos
were.
that no one's buying.
I know. And again, it just lends itself to how lucky we were because we were able to experience some of these great things that were built for us. It was built for
Yeah,
children, and it's being taken away. And I always feel like I have to apologize in some respects to the younger generation because we're screwing things up for them.
yeah.
That the lucky stuff that we got to do, they're not getting to do.
Yeah, a good portion, according to Emily, of the reason why there are not as many field trips as there used to be is transportation.
Right?
Transporting the kids on school buses has gotten to be extremely expensive. I'm
That's
sure
interesting.
gas or petrol has
Yeah.
a a hand in that, of course. I think insurance as well.
I mean, but we didn't think of those things. We didn't as
No,
kids.
we didn't because there
We
was no need to, right? You just went and enjoyed
All we
yourselves.
got, we just had to make sure we had some money to pay for our lunch and
Yeah.
get our permission slips, but that was
And you
it.
had our parents had to pay for it, and not all the time, and I
Yeah.
think that is the biggest part of it. I think the subsidized
Mm.
part of the field trips
Yeah.
is gone. I
Yeah.
don't think school boards are paying for that or contributing to that. You have to also figure that I'm sure there are a lot of kids in a lot of classes that their parents can't afford it. To level the playing field, no
Stop
one
it all
goes.
which is just but that's the thing. I mean, even when we went to Ontario Place at the zoo, our parents didn't pay out of pocket because the school boards had budgets, contingency plans for the kids to do these events. We would go to libraries, we would go to plays, we would go to musicals. We got to do some of these great things, and that makes me sad that it's not the same, and exactly
Yeah.
for the reasons you said, Con, budgetary reasons, and people have to pay.
People are complaining that there's fewer and fewer kids than there was before. You would think maybe make it so parents aren't having to dole out so much. And
It's
that's another thing that has changed
right?
between when we were growing up. The average family back in the day was 3 kids.
2 to 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
3?
I know more, yeah, I think it was 3 because you have to figure there were the
I
Mike Aikens
guess.
of the, where, those good old Irish families having
True.
13 kids.
You're right, big families, you're right, there was more of
Yeah, big
them.
families are not a thing. It is such a rarity,
Yeah, I forgot about that, you're right,
for
you're
for
right.
me and my family, 4 kids. It's like, whenever you hear of somebody that has 4 kids, it's like, "Wow, you have 4 kids?
How can you
Wow."
afford that? That's what I think,
What are you insane?
right? But back
You
then, you're
know?
right, it was a lot of families, you're right, I'd forgotten. You're right, and that's
Yeah.
a big change, you're right, it's that's
And now you hear a lot of the one and done.
yeah.
Part of that is because of people having them at a older age. If you're starting in your mid-30s, it's harder, and if you are going through any kind of fertility, it's expensive.
And even that lends itself just we were just talking about kids and expenses in schools and another I think a significant change that relates to a great deal of that is the fact that nowadays compared to the past, cheaters, people who take advantage, those things are not punished in the level that we saw when we were children and we were kids. If you were cheating on tests, if you were cheating in the
Oh,
system,
in like, as a kid?
as a kid, all of but even as an adult, when people that took advantage of the system, people were punished appropriately for crap. They aren't
I don't
punished in the
know.
same way. Oh, come on, Connie, if you caught cheating in class, you got
Oh, if you were
punished.
caught cheating in class?
I'm sure people nowadays are. I don't, but I'm
I
talking
think
now,
so. I think
but
there's more ways to
adults,
cheat now than there was then.
you think so?
Then you had to
Oh,
kind
the
of either
phone
write it on your leg or you had
or
to
your
write it on your hand
or
or
your
you had to write it
shoe.
somewhere. Yeah, on your shoe. You had to be creative on where you were putting this cheating. Now you have ChatGPT, you have your cell phones, so many different things.
But don't you think the consequences now, and I'm not even talking, like, moving away from kids, I'm sure that, like, in the classroom, I'm sure that there's going to be punishment in play, absolutely. There's still
Mhm.
suspensions, there's still, all those things, having to take the test again. But I think watching when kids are watching adults do things and they're not being subject to the same sort of punishment like they used to be,
I
it
think maybe that we know about it more now that and I think personally, I think that we're seeing a hierarchy of who gets punished and who doesn't get
that's
punished.
right.
And if you're a
Yeah,
wealthy white man,
that's right.
there is no punishment for you.
Mhm.
I mean, look at all the people that are on the Epstein files. None of them are going to go to jail.
Yeah,
We know that.
yeah,
We know that none of those people are going to jail.
yeah,
None of them are going to get punished in any way.
yeah.
They're not even losing their positions at work.
It's and that's what I
Like,
wrote here,
there is 0 consequences
0,
for any of
0
that
for
stuff.
this vile behavior.
The only one being punished for any of that right now
Are the
is
women?
a woman
Mm,
that is in jail
the
who isn't
victims.
really even getting the full punishment that she should be getting either
Oh, Gisley.
because she's has, like, a nice cushy little place that she's in jail instead of, like, in general pop in a hard time prison.
Well, what's protecting her? Money. Money also,
Exactly, and
and
I think that's the difference.
that's what I was gonna say.
I think we're just seeing it more. I think that's always been the
Oh, for
case.
sure. There's the but
Yeah.
I think what's also really changed is the sheer number of people who are not of that class who are cheering it on and
Oh,
have
yeah.
actively voted for it again. Mr.
Yes.
Trump actively voted for it and
Yeah.
see nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
behavior. Because and I again, this is where I question what's going on compared to maybe in the past we had the way that the news and the way that people received information about scandals and everything else is very, very different from what we get now. We
Yeah.
had the 6 o'clock news or the 11 o'clock news.
And
Those,
morning news.
right. But the 6 o'clock news was the big one because those were
Yeah.
Tom Brokaw and Walter Cronkite, and they were heavyweights. So you listen to them. They were the ones that told you what was going on, and there was no filters, there was no interference from the big companies to
There was no discussion. It was just headlines, and
that's
that's
right.
it. This is the
Now
news. This is what's happening. No one is discussing what their opinions are on it. They were
that's
just
right,
giving you the news, and then you at your kitchen table with your like, the adults at the kitchen
that's
table
right.
would discuss it
Yeah,
amongst themselves,
yeah,
and they'd argue or whatever, and that would be it.
and they were the only voices.
Mhm.
That's it, that's all. Oh, and of course, the newspapers too. The newspapers had a very,
Yes.
very big influence on what was
And the
going on.
newspaper was where you would get opinion pieces.
That's right. But
Yes,
also
you'd
it
have editorials and stuff.
and we would also get local news as well, so we were aware not only of what was going on nationally or perhaps some cases internationally, but we'd also get an idea what was happening locally, which is a
Absolutely.
voice that's been completely removed. Now, nowadays, of course, with thanks to the internet, we get news all the time, everywhere, every second.
It's not only the internet,
A
it's the 24-hour news cycle is
absolutely.
insane,
It
and
is.
the number of people that just turn on CNN or Fox and
It's when
watch it all day
all day.
long. You can't go to a doctor's office or the hospital or even a takeout place without seeing CP24
That's right.
playing.
That's true, and as a result, it's absolutely had an effect
Oh,
on the way
absolutely, it
that people
has.
are disseminating and receiving information. And you're getting opinions more than you're getting news. But it has become a situation where, well, I think it should be raining, but I'm not quite sure. Like it's just like you're getting
It's this
opinions.
rain. It's more like sleet.
Right. And now it's absolutely had a complete effect on the way that we are dealing with. situations in our world that in the past would have been outrageous, and
Yeah.
now it's just a Tuesday,
Well, and
right?
you're getting 1,000 different buffoons
Oh my god.
discussing their opinions on the news.
Yeah.
Like, they're sticking religion in their political opinions,
Yeah.
they're discussing they're even questioning whether historical facts are actual facts, and it's
It's
like, how are you even discussing slavery and the validity of it? It's
it's this
mind-boggling.
it is. It's this weird acceptance of stupidity. The National Enquirer has become the voice for people. All those stories about, "Oh, there's Monkey Boy over there," and now people
Yeah.
believe it's real.
Yeah.
And
Well, the amount of discussion that I have seen about orbs in the sky
I know.
and aliens coming and aliens in the ocean.
I just when I hear it and see that there are people that genuinely believe there's a mist or something along those lines that's created
Oh,
by do you know what I'm talking about?
yes.
What is it again, Con? Like,
Oh,
it's
there is
it's
a
it w w
chemtrails.
that's the one. I I am
Chemtrails, the fear of 5D.
I'm trying to
Um,
understand why, because we all went to the same schools, and this is Gen Xers
oh, yeah.
that are believing that. We all went to the same school, and we all had the same education. Well, maybe not the
Yeah.
same,
You know
because there
what's
were
so
different
funny?
levels,
Look at the
but it's
chemtrails that the
crazy.
planes are leaving in the sky that's gonna kill us. When a car drives, there's something that comes out of the end of the car as well. Are you complaining about that? That's
Yeah.
chemicals as well.
I
Like, it's just I don't
there's I
understand
don't
it.
either, and I'm baffled, and this again, it's
Mm,
this acceptance of stupidity, and I don't know. I keep I'm still like I'm having trouble expressing the
yeah,
shock because it is shocking that you
yeah.
would think that that's what's going on. And
Do we have chemicals in our air that are making us sick? Probably. We have chemicals everywhere because we don't live in the forest.
N- we've reached a stage where everyone's opinion is everywhere all the time.
People could say the same thing about us. We are giving our opinions. This is what we think.
Don't even get me started on that. I already
Hey,
have
but
my
our
moments.
opinions make you laugh. We're funny
But that doesn't make us laugh.
sometimes.
That part, yeah, that part doesn't
Yeah.
make us laugh. That is genuine concern. But what else have you seen that's kind of changed? What have you noticed?
The silence.
Oh,
We no longer sit in silence. There is constantly something. Most people do not just sit with their thoughts. Go to a doctor's office and people have their phones in their hands. Even shopping, I see people looking at their phones while they're shopping. Children, I've complained about this so many times where you see them sitting there with the little tablet or their parents' phone watching videos. And I have started doing this where I don't plug my phone in at night. My phone is in
me
the
too.
bathroom, away from me,
Yeah.
not plugged in. So sometimes it's pretty low by the time it's morning. So I will plug my phone in when I get up in the morning. And I'll just sit there with my coffee. The TV is off. The
Yes.
phone is away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying my cup of coffee and listening to nothing.
Mhm.
Enjoying the sound of birds now that are starting to chirp because it's spring here,
Yeah.
and just kind of being with my thoughts. I was watching this one video where this guy was saying to it reset our brain just to turn their phone off, put a timer on for 60 seconds. Start with 60 seconds, go on to 5 minutes. Sit with your thoughts.
Yeah.
No, we do have noisy brains, and I think we've been
Too
kinda
noisy.
taught, like, that we don't wanna hear all the words that are in our heads.
Oh God, listen to the voices, people.
Listen to those voices.
Oh God. And we're just talking about crazy people now. People will think we're crazy.
But but still, like, just be in that silence. Don't be inundated by something external all the time.
Which is a reminder of what we had because you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
The kids today are absorbed with the tablets and their phones. It's nice to see in the neighborhood kids riding around on their bikes and
Yeah.
being away from it, and I'm like, "That was my childhood." I don't I can't imagine being tethered to a phone, stuck indoors, just doing that, like,
Playing video games.
no, and that
I
was the
remember
joy.
I remember a while back, Emily and Jack were teenagers. We rented a cottage with a bunch of friends and their kids. And a couple of the kids from one of the families didn't enjoy the time because 'cause they're indoor kids, and they didn't like the bugs. It's a cottage. You're gonna get bugs. They spent the entire time inside
That is so sad.
playing video games on their Game Boys, maybe.
Okay.
My kids were in the lake,
Yeah.
trying to swim to the little island. Enjoy
Oh,
life.
the greatest
Life is
memories.
not on your phone. Yes, you will get bit by a bug or 2. Emily did. We ended up going to the emergency room because you know how they have chicken wire that sometimes holds the rocks
Yes.
along
Yeah.
the shore? She
Cut?
got a huge gouge,
Shit.
actually, so we had to
Oh,
end up
it's not always
in
gonna be
the
perfect. It's not gonna
no,
be
not gonna be
perfect all the
perfect, and
time.
you're gonna end up at the emergency room, but that's a
It's
story.
rare.
Now she has a scar she can
Yeah.
show, she
Oh,
has a
yeah.
story that goes with
She
it,
has a scar? Ooh.
oh, it was a huge
The hell? What happened? What'd she do?
oh, I don't know if she fell into it or
Oh,
whatever, but
sheesh.
it gouged her thigh,
Oh,
the
damn.
side of her thigh, and she got, like, this so she had to get stitches and everything, and
That's stories, though. That's you're absolutely right.
yeah.
That's I think I you just made me smile just with the those were the greatest memories of childhood is
Mhm.
camping and
Oh,
being
yeah.
outdoors. Oh my god, I loved it. We couldn't wait. Whenever
Yeah.
dad would pull out the cooler and get all the stuff that you would take when you'd have to go for long camping trips, I couldn't wait. And when
Yeah.
we'd go with other families, it would be awesome. You'd sit around the fire
Yeah.
singing songs. And I understand that it sounds so nostalgic and it sounds very old fashioned, but it was just a
And
magical
that was,
time,
like, what, 2010s?
right?
So, it wasn't that long ago,
Fair
really. I mean, that
enough.
wasn't but, I mean, it was, my kids and the other kids, other than
The
the
ones that
few that,
stayed in.
the ones that stayed in, they had a blast.
Oh, greatest times.
Oh, yeah.
And this was in the 2010s. This was the 70s. So,
Oh, in
you
the
know,
'70s camping, you really had to,
oh
you
yeah,
brought coloring books,
oh,
you
you
brought,
brought
a
everything.
Sweet Valley High book or a,
You were Archie Comics if you're very lucky.
Yes.
It was and then, of course, you got to play and explore and just be a kid
Mhm.
and not have your parents weren't around, like, for us, like, we were
No.
all doing our own thing,
No.
except for lunch and dinner and breakfast, but and at night when you get to sing songs. But, it was a magical, magical time, and I think the point of that too is that you also had time just for quiet, you know?
Mhm.
Like, get to be outdoors and just be, and I think you're right, Connie, I think that has changed significantly is that there's always something trying to occupy every
Your
second of
time.
your life, every
Yeah.
second. And another
Yeah.
thing you brought up too about even just being in the waiting rooms is the TV on, everything else. Like when we were kids, it would be going to the dentist's office and you'd hear music. That's
Yeah.
it. And the tables would be piled with magazines or coloring books for the kids and, you know, Reader's Digest
Yeah.
for, adults.
Yeah.
But it wasn't unpleasant. It was good.
It was
I'm
fine. It
yeah,
was absolutely fine. How can
yeah.
you not just sit there and just be?
I don't know
We
now.
can't now. We can't. I don't think people can. I especially don't think that the younger generation that is, oh, okay, well, let's see. I have a doctor's appointment today
Yes.
that I'm going to shortly. I'm going to not have my phone out, and I'm going to watch the people around me and see what they're all doing and see if they have their phones out, and then I'll report back to say how everyone else was. Um,
Yeah, I
and
it
yeah,
yeah, I think that that is honestly You don't even need to go to an office to do all. You to just sit outside and watch people walking. No one I saw I saw something else which is related to this too, where it was a concert. I don't know who it was for, but all the kids had they weren't doing they weren't experiencing it. They had their phones out
For taping it,
recording
yeah,
it. And I thought, "What are you doing?
yeah.
Is it to record yourself being there? But you're not watching the performance. I thought, isn't that the point?"
Well,
Like,
I think they are. I think I don't know if so Emily does it all the time where she's
okay,
at a concert and she takes videos, not the whole concert,
of
but you
course.
have the phone up like this. So you're
Mm.
watching it,
Are
but you're
you?
recording it at the same time.
Right. But
Um,
are you
uh,
getting the full experience of it if you're also having to fumble with your phone on top? Like,
I think
I
they're better.
realize,
Yeah, I think they're better than we
maybe.
are.
Yeah, probably. Good lord.
I think they could manage to do
You know, I sorry.
it's like
I
when they watch me taking a picture with the phone and they're like, "Oh my god,
oh,
mom,
I
you're so
know.
old." And I'm
Oh,
like, "What are you talking about? I'm trying to take a picture. How else my arms are only so long." Like
I
I'm
know.
short. I don't have these like really long go-go gadget arms.
They're so proficient, but okay, okay, fine. They get it. They understand how to work it and do everything else. I've been to tons of concerts. I could not imagine wanting to bring that because I still remember it, and I don't I I guess
You don't need the video. I think
sounding like an old man. I
honestly,
know.
honestly, I do think that the video of the concert and the photos of the concert are for social media to show other people, "This is where I was. This is what I was listening to. Look at who I was watching," especially if it was like a Taylor Swift concert or something like that, right? It's kind of like the
I feel so
bragging
sad for
rights.
inexplicably sad to hear that. That's
Yeah,
just
I think
I
that's what
don't
it
know.
is. I honestly, I think that's where it's coming from. I think it's to
For
show other people.
and for us, it would have been just showing the ticket that you went. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just I
I
don't
don't think there's
understand
paper
it,
tickets now.
right? I keep thinking about it. I keep seeing this sea of cameras, whereas before it would be a sea of lighters, you know,
Yeah. Well,
cigarette
although
lighters.
I remember there was a concert that I went to and there was an app that you could have that was a lighter app. So it was like an image of a lighter and that's what you would hold up. And I thought, I guess that's kind of safer.
Oh, that's so boring. It's
Yeah, or people
that's
now, I think what people do is they put their flashlight for their phone on and
right.
hold that up, and that's the light that they
To blind the singer.
wave
Sorry.
through the air. Um,
Oh my
I don't
god,
think the flashlights are that strong.
I gotta tell you, Connie, this is where the divide is very clear, where I'm just like, "No, I
Yeah,
don't agree with any of that stuff," but that's on me.
yeah,
That's what I think about that stuff. I just think that you're missing out. I think bringing that just you're not experiencing the full gamut if you're worrying about what you're videotaping and making sure that you get the right shot and getting the right scene or whatever it is that you wanna that's but that's me.
yeah.
That's just what I
Well, the
think.
last concert
Different
that I went
generation.
to was Bon Jovi. Um,
When was that?
this is maybe it was the last one that he was here?
Oh,
I don't know. It was a
90s?
while
90s?
ago. No, 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 no.
Oh, they're still
It
touring?
was yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But again, so this is how you go watch a concert
In
when
your
you're my
50s?
age.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You have a box and there's food.
Yes. And
There's
there's
it's like
seating.
there's a nice salmon. There's seating. You're
The
not
sea
so close that you're going deaf. You're enjoying it, but,
Oh my god.
you
Oh
can
my
also
god.
talk with the other people that are in the box with you. Uh,
I'm laughing I'm laughing because the seating is so crucial now. You need to
yes.
sit.
You're watching it sitting down and enjoying it, and you're
Oh.
singing, you're still
Oh.
enjoying it, but at
Although
the same t but I'm sure 98% of the people were probably in their 50s.
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know? And there were people on the floor,
of
obviously, and
course.
dancing and doing all the other stuff. I was enjoying it
Not all
from the
Gen X
comfort.
not all Gen Xers are geriatric. Some of them do get boogie and get down.
So I was dancing and singing,
I'm kidding, God.
enjoying myself.
But
Um,
I do like the idea of a box. Like, seriously, that would be
yeah.
just comfort.
Yes.
Like, it's comfort.
Yeah.
I like that, you know?
Yeah.
There's no way 40 years ago I would have been like, "Box, good lord." You wanna be on the
Yeah.
floor right in there, right in the front. But
As close as you can get.
oh, yeah,
No,
like,
my ears, I need safety and security for my ears.
you know, I do recall, though, going to see Janet Jackson with my friend Mikey, uh, and it was awesome because it's all hits.
Yeah.
She had so many bops that you're, like, dancing your ass off, and it was so much fun. Of course, by the end of the night, I was exhausted.
And your ears are ringing, and all you
Oh,
think of
yeah.
is, "Oh, how damaged what kinda damage
Oh,
did I do to my ears?"
right? That's why so Jim and I, we were in Kingston, and we were heading back to our hotel, and we're driving past this pub, and you could see, like, our club or whatever it was, and there was this huge lineup of kids waiting to get in. I said to Jim, I go, "I can't even fathom the idea of standing in line like I used to back in the day to get into to do this. There is no
Yeah,
way." I felt instantly old and loved
yeah.
it because I'm like, "Okay, those days are gone." Could you imagine,
Especially
Connie?
as a
Oh,
girl, because you didn't wanna check your jacket.
oh.
So you would
Why?
stand there because it's
It's a
an extra
hassle?
thing that you have to, so you're standing there in this little dress and heels and in the snow in the winter, freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Are you kidding? I like the comfort of a leisure suit and the warmth of my house, the
Oh my god.
blanket over
So,
top of me.
that
That's a good Saturday night.
and again, that just marks the difference between the past and now, but, I mean, I think the difference between us and them, though, is that, again, as we mentioned even at the beginning of the previous episode, just coming home from an event like that, we would be covered reeking of smoke. And
Yes.
and I think nowadays I don't one of the I will say one difference is the rise of these clubs where you put on headphones and dance to your own music, but you can't
What?
you like, what are they called? Noiseless clubs? I don't know. Everybody's dancing and they have headphones on, so they're just dancing to their own beat, but,
To their own music?
yeah, or to whatever music's playing, but it's in their headphones. I've seen it. It's insane. Like, you're not
I've never
hearing
seen that before.
boom, boom of the club
This must
music.
be like a so
It must be it's not for us. It's not for me.
must be what your algorithm is bringing you because you know what my algorithm brings me?
What? I'm picturing tea time with Connie.
No, no,
Oh,
no, no,
what
no,
is it?
clubs.
Oh,
Clubs where they play musical
what?
theater music
What?
and everyone sings to it.
How old are these people?
They are young!
They're
They're
pl
all musical theater kids
Oh,
going to these clubs
that would explain it. Oh
where
my
they're singing, like, songs from Les Mis or, and they're all singing to it really loud as like at the top of their lungs, enjoying themselves. That's what my algorithm brings me.
what's my expression showing? It's horror. I can't believe that.
Do you hear the people sing, singing the songs of angry men?
What's that from?
That's Les Mis. How do you not know what that is from?
I was never a big fan of musical theater. As a gay, I know that's shocking, but seriously, I really was never big into it. So this went right over my head. But and see, now that is a big difference. I can't even fathom going to a club to
Oh my god, I would
sit.
love to do that.
Oh, Connie.
I know, I know.
I love it.
Nerdy me.
Not at all, it's awesome. And you know what, on that note, we will end our our walk down memory lane with that was funny. I'm
I think
sorry.
we're gonna have to do a round 3 of this because I still have a giant list.
So do
We do
I.
have to end because I have to go to the
She
doctor's,
does.
but,
But
but I think if we did a round 3 of this, it'd be a lot of fun
I
because there's
think so.
so much that has changed.
It's actually it's kinda cool now that we're doing it because I actually woke up in the middle of the night going, "Oh my god, there's that." But yes, we will save that for round 3, part 3, but in the meantime, you know where you can listen to part 2, today's episode. Connie's just gonna repeat exactly where you can do that.
On Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts from.
That's right, and please leave a
I should
comment.
just, like,
Oh,
record that little
you
bit and
should.
add it to every because it's the same thing every
But
time.
I love it. It's just like that one thing where we end where Connie says that all the time, and I love that part. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem to be without you doing it. You need to. But yeah, but in the meantime, though, you know where you can listen to us, and please, by all means, share a comment. Let us know what you think of us. We would love to hear it.
And if you have idea or have memories of the things that we no longer do that you remember doing as a Gen X or as a kid growing up, let us know.
Yeah,
Either at the bottom of the podcast, wherever it is that you're listening to, or on any of our socials, whether it's Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, wherever it is that you
all of it.
follow us.
So and stay tuned, please, for part 3. There's more to come. I love you, Con.
Yes.
Go off to your
Love you
doctor.
too.
I'll see you later.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.